Good evening. For 5 days now, our forces are operating to expose terror infrastructure at the Shifa hospital. This evening, we've exposed initial findings from the ongoing operation. IDF forces and the Shin Bet have located in the hospital a vehicle of the Nukba force. This vehicle was part of the vehicles that penetrated Israel on the 7th of October and executed the terrible massacre. Next to that vehicle, we found a shaft, an underground shaft, well hidden in the same compound. In the past several days, we investigated and we exposed the terror tunnel under the hospital. We've shown this to the entire world. Our forces continue to investigate and expose the terror infrastructure that Hamas has been hiding. We are determined to expose the truth. At the same time, our forces continue the ground operation in other arenas in the north part of the Gaza Strip. Every ground operation that we're executing is followed with Israeli Air Force jets, strikes, in order to ensure the best possible conditions for our forces. This evening, we will expose to the world further evidence that show how Hamas is executing war crimes in the hospitals. I want to stress some of the descriptions and the images that we'll show are not easy to watch. This morning, we notified the families of Noah Marziano on the pathological information. She was taken to a hideout apartment next to Shifa. During the Israeli strikes, a terrorist that held her was killed. She was injured in the strike, but I want to stress that she was not injured in a life-threatening situation. This was determined by the pathological report. This is unlike the false videos published by Hamas that attempted to claim as if Noah was killed by IDF strikes. According to the information, the intelligence information, the concrete information that we have, Noah was taken by Hamas terrorists from the place where she was being held inside the Shifa hospital, where she was murdered by a Hamas terrorist. Let me stress again, in the hospital, the place that is supposed to take care of human lives was used by Hamas for murder. Further intelligence information shows that other hostages were at the hospital at different times in the complex. Together with the IDF, operate Shin Bet agents that investigate the medical staff. We have located information that documented the arrival of hostages into the hospital during the massacre. We show for the first time documentation of hostages, a Nepalese and a Thai citizens that were taken by Hamas into the hospital. We've updated their families and their states. The world cannot say that it did not know what happens in the hospitals in Gaza, and the world must operate against the Hamas-ISIS war crime. Now we will show the findings in English.
I would like to share an update on our hostage rescue effort. The sensitive information that I will be revealing now was shared with the Marziano family this morning. 19-year-old IDF Corporal Noah Marziano was taken hostage by Hamas terrorists during the massacre of October 7th. Noah was taken into Gaza alive. She was held hostage by Hamas in Gaza City next to the Shifa hospital. During ongoing combat in the vicinity of where she was held captive, Noah Hamas captor was killed and Noah was injured. I repeat, she was only injured. An independent pathological report has determined Noah's injuries were not life-threatening. I repeat, Noah's injuries were not life-threatening. What happened to Noah? The world should ask what happened to Noah. According to the intelligence we have in our hand, a concrete intelligence, Hamas terrorists took Noah into Shifa hospital, where she was murdered quickly. Hamas murdered Noah inside Shifa hospital. Our thoughts are with Noah's family. We send our heartfelt condolences to the family. We did not reach Noah in time. This is only make the IDF more determined to do everything in our power to bring all our hostages home. We've also gathered more intelligence from the hospital, proving that Noah Marciano was not the only hostage taken by Hamas into Shifa hospital. I will now share concrete evidence of hostages. One from Nepal, one from Thailand, taken from Israel during the Hamas massacre on October 7th. After ruthlessly massacring and taking people hostage, the terrorists fled to Shifa hospital. They went to the hospital to hide. Here you can see Hamas terrorists drove back from the massacre. This is an Israeli military jeep they brought into the hospital. I want to repeat it just to make everybody understand. They're bringing an Israeli jeep, a military jeep, into the hospital compound, a place terrorists should not enter. They're entering with a military jeep. This is 1050, one of the Toyotas that used Hamas in the 7th of October are bringing hostages into the hospital. We have found this Toyota, a different one, with all the gear, a Nukhbe Toyota, hidden in a garage inside the hospital. She was ready to go to the 7th of October massacre, like other Toyotas going back into the hospital, using the hospital as a terror base. Another jeep, another Israeli vehicle, military vehicle, entering into the Shifa hospital, using the Shifa hospital as a human shield shelter to Hamas terrorists, bringing military equipment to the vicinity of the hospital. Click. This is 7th of October, 10:55 a.m. The evidence I will share was sent by Israel to diplomatic channels to the countries of those civilians. Here you can see Hamas taking a hostage inside the vicinity. He even doesn't look need a treatment, but they're taking it inside the hospital. I will now share this video that shows the same hostage entering into the hospital with a gunman, terrorist, inside the hospital. This is the main entrance of the hospital. Click. This is at 10:55 a.m. They're entering another hostage. Gunmen are entering another hostage from those countries I mentioned into the vicinity. The terrorists are guarding the room. We have not yet located both of these hostages and rescued them. We have not yet located them. We do not know where they are. They're still hostages we need to rescue. The Israel Defense Forces, the world must remember, Hamas is holding the elderly, men, women, children, babies, hostage. The Israel Defense Forces has a moral obligation to bring everyone every one of our hostages home. We will not rest until we do. Hamas was hiding and murdering our hostages in Shifa Hospital. Hamas was building terror tunnels underneath Shifa Hospital. By now, the truth is clear. Hamas wages war from hospitals, wages terror from hospitals. Everyone who cares about the future of humanity must condemn Hamas. Thank you. Questions, please.
שולב כחלון, חדשות 14. אדוני, בהמשך למה שהצגת על בית החולים בעזה ועל מה שנראה כמעורבות ברורה ובולטת אפילו של אנשי רפואה, אם זה הולך להשפיע בעתיד על המדיניות של צה"ל כלפי בתי החולים האלו?
We expose this action, our actions, the intelligence that we have in order to show the world how Hamas uses, against international law, as a war crime, uses the hospitals. This is a method of operation. We saw this in Rantisi Hospital and now at Shifa Hospital with unequivocal evidence how from those bases they embarked on a terror attack on Israel and returned to these facilities together with hostages, returned to the facilities with ammunition, guns, communications to manage a battle from inside the hospital while holding two hostages, as they know that those are their human shields. For more than 3 weeks, we've shown Shifa and we reached Shifa. We exposed it to the world. We said so and we showed so. We've done so in a responsible manner without hurting innocent civilians, patients, or medical staff. We've shown it and we've proven to the world. Now we will dismantle Hamas's infrastructure in the hospitals and will not allow this system to continue. Hamas may claim that they merely shows that they've given treatment to hostages. We saw.
All right, we've just heard Daniel Hagari there speaking, giving his briefing, some very significant information coming out of that briefing.